I was about to start getting ready to film a new video and I realized that my Click and Grow 3 is a disaster and I needed to clean it. Rather than just cleaning it behind the scenes, and just share with you guys the process of how I clean my units. So if you're new around here, then hi, I am Kiri, and if you are not new around here and you're returning, then hello my plant nerds and welcome back. In case you haven't bought it and you're wondering which one to get and you're just sussing out a whole bunch of videos, this is the Click and Grow 3. It is still a mess. It's got old leaves and stuff stuck to it. So I just want to share with you guys how I get this cleaned and reset for planting again. This will hopefully help you decide when it comes to cleaning, is it worth getting this unit? I don't love cleaning any of my units, let's be clear, but the Click and Grow ranks up there as the easiest to clean. Taking second place would probably be the AeroGarden Sprout, which directly feeds into why I am cleaning out this unit, but we will come back to that at the end of this video. So I'll just go through and quickly show you how this unit is made up. If you already have the unit, then you can skip ahead. I'll put the timestamp down below where I get into the actual cleaning, but for anybody that might have found this video because they're trying to decide if they should get a Click and Grow, I'll just go through a quick rundown of what it is. So this is a dirty and used pod, but they basically have a wick that comes out of the bottom. All of the roots stay contained in this cup, with the exception if you have the Pro Pods. I'll put a picture of them up on the screen. Here, this little lid comes off and that's where the plant pod goes. It has this handy dandy cover to help keep the light out, which I like. If you're used to AeroGardens, this is the equivalent of the little green sticker that goes on top, except this one doesn't fall off, which is nice, and they're reusable. It has this tab. I've never used these, but the idea is you can write on these on what is growing in it, but it is stuck on here, so you're going to want to use something that you can wipe off. Then I have this little terracotta plant base. It actually fits perfectly over the hole that I'm not using, because if you've watched any of my videos, then you know I never, ever plant every single hole, because I want to give space to the plant so they can grow and be healthier. And there will be people that will say in the comments, I plant every single hole and it's fine. Cool. You do you. I have just found that it can get a little crowded and I prefer to leave the gaps. I haven't seen any covers that Click and Grow actually makes to cover the empty pods. If you know of any, let me know down below. Sure, there's 3D printing things, but I don't have a 3D printer that you could get to cover that. But for now, this little terracotta base from the dollar store works just fine. This thing is a little bit different about Click and Grow. It has the light. Well, I mean, that's not different, but I can get this off. It just pulls off. And then you get these extensions that, this is both of them. There's actually two here. They're about 4 inches, I think. I'll check and put it on the screen. But these are what you use to raise the light. And in its initial state, when you're starting the seedlings, this little light just goes right down like that. To be careful that you do not lose these. Also, you are raising it an entire 4 inches or whatever the length of this one is, as opposed to something like the AeroGarden Sprout, which you can raise, whoop, okay, you can do it all at once, or it goes like a click at a time. So you have a little bit more control on the height of the light. So we'll take this back off. And this is the only thing that plugs in on this unit. If you did not know, spoiler alert, this does not have a pump. It is very much just a deep water culture system. There's no pump, there's no aeration, there is nothing in here. You don't even have to put in nutrients. They say that all the nutrients that you need are in the plant pods that go in here. If you are looking for a unit that is simple, the least things to mess around with because you're just getting started, then this might be a really good unit for you. I am going to play around with this in the future, adding in some extra things to add some more aeration and everything, but this is the hardest part of cleaning it, I have found, is getting this top piece off. I like it. Oh my goodness. Okay, does not want to come off. When I first got this, I was starting to think it actually didn't come off. Oh my god. Oh, there we go. And she's apart. So inside, it is just completely open. This is the top plate. One piece, so a little bit easier to clean, but still lots of nooks and crannies. More probably than the AeroGarden Sprout. And then this is your water level. This is the float. Super basic. Just air trapped in there. It will rise and lower, and that's it. It is a very simple system. So now that I've disassembled it, I need to clean it. I have a tub of just warm water. I'm gonna put a squirt of Dawn in. I don't like to put in too much because it can leave a residue, but I just like to put in a little bit. It's up to you. The other thing I'm going to put in is some vinegar. Normally I would do the cleaning vinegar, but I don't have any and I needed to get this thing cleaned. So I'm just using the regular white vinegar, but normally I would use the Allen's cleaning vinegar. I'll put a picture on the screen. It's just got more acetic acid in it. I can't remember how much it is. I'll put the percent on the screen as well. So it just helps clean it a little bit better. This is not sponsored, but the other thing I like to use are these papaya reusable paper towels. Then I just have the one that I keep for cleaning my system that lasts for a really long time. They're just made up of cellulose and cotton. Well, it says on the front that one sheet replaces 17 rolls. So I just feel better about using this rather than using a paper towel. And if you're interested in getting any of these, you have an affiliate link. I will put that down below, which saves you some money and helps give a little bit of money to me, which kind of makes it a win-win for both of us. But a paper towel or an old face cloth or whatever you want to use, you just want to make sure that you're using something that's not going to scratch the plastic, because we don't want to put grooves in there and give algae or anything else a place to kind of grip onto. Don't really need to do these, but they're here, so they're going in. So the one thing I'm not going to put in here with the vinegar and the soap are the plant cups. Reason being, they have the wick and I don't want the vinegar and soap getting stuck in there, so I'm going to set these aside. I'm just going to wash these with clean, warm water. It's just a matter of giving it a scrub-a-dub-dub. A clear white plastic tub. Okay, I gotta amuse myself somehow when I am cleaning these units. I really don't like cleaning these things. When you're cleaning these, like, they have the little nooks and crannies on everything, so just make sure you're getting in and scrubbing all of that. One of the things that makes this Click and Go 3 so easy to clean, specifically if you're using these original cups, is that with the roots not really being able to get down into the reservoir, I mean, sometimes you will get a couple of ambitious roots that come down or the wicking tube, but other than that, there's not a lot of roots in there, and that's some of the stuff, especially if you don't clean it straight away, like I'm known to sometimes do. The roots really get stuck and it can take a long time to clean it. When I was just doing this now, I only had one little root that was in there, so it's super quick to get it clean. Plus, because there's no pump, I'm not taking a pump apart and trying to clean all of that. That definitely makes it super quick. Honestly, it took me about 10, maybe 15 minutes from start to finish to get it clean, which is nice for a task that I don't enjoy doing. Once this is done soaking, I'm just going to rinse it and get it set up. We'll do that in a bit. If, however, I was going to do a deep clean, and I'm not this time, I've only run this through once, so I'm not going to bother with it, but that is just a personal choice. I usually do a deep clean every few cycles. So if you are considering doing a deep clean, then after you've done this initial just scrubbing and cleaning stage, then we need to get into the deep sanitization. So if you're going to do that, you really have two choices. You're either going to use vinegar or you're going to use bleach. And from my perspective, this is completely personal. If you're going to use the vinegar, then you're going to want to do a 1-to-1 ratio. So 1 cup of vinegar to 1 cup of water. And this is where, again, I like to use the cleaning vinegar, which is a 10% acetic acid. At least in Canada it is. I measured it out before I got started, and the Click and Grow reservoir holds 12 cups of water. So that means you're needing 6 cups of vinegar and 6 cups of water. And because there is no pump, you would just fill up the grow bowl and leave that for 30 minutes. That's why I'm leaving mine to soak in the solution for 30. If I was doing the deep clean, I would just be filling up that grow bowl specifically with that concentration and leaving that in there. In another system like the AeroGarden Sprout or any of those, what you would be doing for that 30 minutes is running the cycle so that that solution is going through the pump and cleaning everything out. Because this has no pump, I'm just going to let it sit in the bowl. So you can see that uses a lot of vinegar. If, however, you would rather use the bleach method, you are going to use 1/4 cup of bleach to 10 cups of water. So even though this holds 12, I would probably just either add a little bit extra water. It'd be a little bit less concentrated, but that's okay. Or you could figure out the minute difference that you would need to get to the full 12 cups. And again, you would let that sit for the 30 minutes, or in any other solution that has a pump, run it for the 30 minutes. So you're using a lot more of the additional component, in this case the bleach, only 1/4 cup, but it is a much longer process. So if you do opt for the bleach method, after you've finished that first 30 minutes, and then what you're going to do is you're going to dump out the bleach solution, you're going to refill it with clean water and leave that for 5 minutes, or in a system with a pump, run it for 5 minutes, dump that out, and then you have to leave everything dry for 48 hours. This is to give any residual bleach a chance to evaporate, because we don't want that getting in with the plants. It has been 30 minutes and everything is brand spanking clean and lovely. And now we need to reassemble the unit. Grow bowl. Then what we're going to do is we are going to take the grow deck. There is where the light thing goes, so you want to make sure you line those up so that, because there is the groove in the back where the wire fits. Because I'm going to be resetting this and replanting it, I'm not going to need these right now. I'm going to set those aside where I'm not going to lose them. Seriously, do not lose track of these things, because that would really suck. I have my float, and that is just going to fit back in. When you put it in, it's going to sink right down to the bottom. Then when we fill it up with water, it will rise up for the water level. We have some cleaned out pods. Those are going to pop back in, and then I am going to have them at either end. Take my cover. And if you're not sure why you would want to bother covering one of the holes or using something like this, the reason is we want to prevent algae. The reality is, anytime that you have water, nutrients, and light, you're going to get, or at least have a really good chance of getting algae. And because in a hydroponic system we have all of those things, by covering up the hole that I'm not using, essentially that's trying to remove as much light from the equation to reduce the chance that we're going to get algae. Sometimes it's going to happen, we can't avoid it all the time, but at least we can take these steps to minimize the chance that it's going to occur. Because if you get algae all over the place, it sucks. I'm going to hold on to these because I need to put my new pods in here, and I am not going to do that just yet. I have my light. And as I mentioned, it just slides right on. Just make sure you don't pinch the cord. And then what you can do is feed the cord into that slot that is there. So now that I have my Click and Grow 3 all super clean, and I also have my AeroGarden Sprout super clean, it is time finally for the rematch. If you want to see what happened the first time around, you can go ahead and check out this video over here.